I literally grew my edges from this point in this picture right here to this point this way with home remedies. In this video, I'm going to be explaining 10 habits that you need to incorporate into your daily hair care routine that will help you regrow your edges as well as prevent shedding and excessive hair loss in that area. So if you're currently going through the same thing I was facing some months ago, experiencing thinning hairline, then you probably have noticed that home remedies may have not been yielding as much results for you as they were for me. Now this is because home remedies on their own cannot regrow your hair out without you making some changes in your hair care routine. The main reason is you might be using this very amazing remedy that is helping your hair grow, but at the same time you're doing so many things that are causing that hair to break off. So in the long run, you don't see any difference from using the remedy and not using the remedy. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 habits that help me regrow my edges and got my edges from looking like this to looking like this. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you guys already know, we are on a 5-month maximum hair growth challenge, and if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know what that is, so make sure to check out this video here to find out what this 5 months maximum hair growth challenge is all about. As I already said, this video is going to be me discussing the 10 habits that I had to incorporate into my hair care regimen in order to regrow my edges. So the first thing we're going to be discussing is you need to pay attention to your edges. Now you must have noticed that nobody just goes to bed with full and thick and healthy edges and just wakes up with scanty, thinning and broken edges. This is actually something that happens over a period of time. You probably have seen your hairline getting thin over a period of time and you just ignore that, and most people tend to look for solutions to how to regrow their hairlines and regrow their edges, mostly when their edges are almost bald. Now this is a big problem, because if you actually identify this problem early on, like when it just started and you just like my edges are thinning, what can I do to really solve this problem, then you can easily find solutions and you can easily just correct the problem immediately you notice the problem. So I believe you should really just pay attention to your edges and try to figure out what is telling you before it gets really grievous. That brings me to the second thing that I want to discuss here today with you all, which is check your edges and your hair in between hairstyles. So you might have this favorite hairstyle, this hairstyle that you love so much, which you like doing each time, but if you don't check your hair in between these hairstyles, you won't even be able to identify which hairstyle causes more damage to your hair than the other. So I actually advise, if you're looking forward to regrowing your edges, then you want to observe your edges between hairstyles. Maybe today you can get braids and you look at your hairline after taking the braids out and you notice you've lost a lot of hair in your hairline. That's your hair telling you you're not supposed to do this kind of braids, because this type of braids ruin your hair. You probably have to do different variations of this hairstyle or just overall abandon the hairstyle. There is no point doing a hairstyle that ruins your hair. So if you notice and if you actually take my advice and you're checking your hair in between hairstyles, you will be able to identify which hairstyle ruins your hair and which hairstyle is actually good for you. That way you can stay away from hairstyles that break your hairline. You cannot be trying to grow your hair out and at the same time breaking it out. That is just like you trying to waste your time. No offense, but please try to check your hair in between hairstyles so you can know which hairstyle is good for you and which hairstyle is not good for you. Now, talking about hairstyling, this leads me to like my third point, which I want to discuss with you all. I'm just going to go into these points really briefly, but if you don't really understand what I'm trying to explain, just let me know down in the comment section. I'll be happy to have a conversation with you and help you regrow your edges. So my third point is wig installation. So many people use different methods of installing wigs. Some people really install wigs in a safe way, while others don't really know what they're doing when they're trying to install their wigs. And again, no offense to anybody, I'm just here to help you regrow your edges. So If you're trying to get your wig in and you want to use glue, right, that's not a problem. The main problem is when you're trying to take it out. So you have to be patient whenever you're trying to take out these lace frontals and closures that you have installed with glue, because most of the time people do install these things and they glue down your hairline. So in the course of taking this out, if you're not very patient, you're going to lose a lot of hair in your hairline during this process. As you can see these pictures here, these are people who lost their hairline because of this reason that I'm explaining to you right now. So one thing you're supposed to put into consideration, or one tip that can help you when installing your lace or your frontals, is to make sure that you don't actually apply the glue to your hairline. You can come to your hairline, like right here, you can see some hair right here. You don't actually apply the glue onto your hairline. You can just apply it like closest to your hairline, like right where my finger is, but not actually on your hairline, if you understand what I'm saying. So I believe that is really simple and that is clear. You cannot be trying to grow your hair out and you're really just ripping your hair out each time you're trying to take your wig out, or just gluing your edges with glue each time you're installing a wig. So please be careful with the kind of hairstyles you do, especially if your aim is to regrow your edges. My next tip is still about hairstyling, but it's a little bit different. It's for you to avoid too tight hairstyle. So no matter the hairstyle it is you're getting, it can be a very simple hairstyle to something like this that I have on my head, but if the hairstyle is too tight, like if I pull this bun so much that my hairline can't breathe, that hairline is going to go away and let me be. So guys, if you're really trying to regrow your edges, you have to stay away from applying too much tension to your hairline, in short, to your hair in general, because applying too much tension to a particular area of your head or your scalp over and over again is definitely going to lead to a medical condition called traction alopecia. And then when you get to that level, it's quite difficult, like very difficult for you to be able to regrow your edges again. So you really want to be careful with the kind of hairstyles you're doing. Instead of getting your braids like this, maybe you should try getting them like this, or in general just stay away from hairstyles that really apply excessive tension on your hairline, because once you get to the level of having traction alopecia, it's not just home remedies and healthy hair care regimen that is going to help you regrow your edges. It now goes way beyond home remedies and healthy hair care routines. So please put this into consideration and consider getting hairstyles that are gentle with your hairline, especially if you really want to regrow your edges back and fuller. Now the fifth thing I recommend you do is stay away from gels and edge controls. Already we have gone through the step of identifying that, okay, my edges are weak, my edges are struggling, they're thinning and all of that. So if you can identify that your edges are already weak, your edges are thinning, and your edges are overall suffering and you really need to regrow them and thicken them, then you want to stay away from gels and edge controls. Now you can go ahead and do this once in a while, but you cannot just gel your edges and put edge control on it every single time. You need to allow your edges to breathe. You see, your edges need to breathe. They need to have time to rest from all the stress and the gelling and the edge controlling, all those steps. You really just need your edges to rest, especially if you notice that your edges are fragile and you are losing and you're beginning to lose your edges. So this is a very important tip. Make sure you put that into consideration if you're trying to regrow your edges and you notice that your edges are really suffering. Now, talking about those with healthy hair or those who are not really at the extreme end and have lost all their edges, or those who are actually in the process of losing their hair, if you must gel your hair or use edge control on your edges, please try to use the right tool. So you don't want to be using old toothbrush. And also many people say you can use an old toothbrush to style your hair, but old toothbrushes look like this. And this is just going to trap your edges in the process and it's going to rip it out. So if you must gel your edges, please use the right tools to gel or edge control your edges. Now there's some brushes well adapted for that. They look like this. You make sure if you want to use edge control or gel on your edges, just use the right tool so you don't cause more harm to that area. And if you cannot have access to this brush, then just use a new toothbrush instead of an old toothbrush. Okay, so my seventh tip is You should have some periods in the month or in the week where you just let your hairline be. You just let it be its true self. You let it rest. You free your hairline of the stress, the styling, the gelling, the pulling, the tension, everything that you're doing. Just give your hairline some time to really just rest from all the things, the manipulation that you are applying to that area. If you really want that area to grow, if you really want your hairline to change, then you have to give your hairline space to rest and have time to basically just regrow. So put this into consideration and try to leave your hairline alone for some time. Now, this doesn't just go to your hairline, obviously it goes to your hairline and your hair in general. My 8th tip is one of my favorite tips that will help you regrow your edges as well as reduce breakage in that area, is the good old scalp massage. Now, everybody must have heard about this, I believe. If you've not, it's just basically doing this. You can use my maximum hair growth oil for this process. You just apply a few drops of that oil on your scalp and then you just give yourself a good scalp massage. If you've not seen how I make my maximum hair growth oil, make sure to check this video right here and find out how that is done. But basically, a scalp massage, you can do this to your scalp every now and then, just trying to boost hair growth and stimulate the hair follicles so they can wake up and start growing again. So scalp massages have a lot of benefits and they're very, very important, especially if you are trying so hard to grow your edges. This is a very important tip. If you want to ignore all the other tips I've given, just make sure you add this one tip to your hair care routine. So the video is almost coming to an end. If you find it helpful, please like, subscribe and share this video so we can help many more sisters out there who are struggling to regrow their hair out, or maybe who don't know exactly what to do to grow their hair out. So my 9th tip is sleep in a loose bun. So you don't want to tie your hair too tight or really pull it too much when you're going to bed. You really want your hair and your resting time to be a resting time for your scalp and your hairline as well. You don't want to go to bed with your hairline so tight it barely breathes. So you want to encourage growth overnight by just letting your hair be loose, and most importantly, you wear your satin or silk bonnet, which I love so much, before you go to bed. This process is very helpful. So you can just add your scalp massage, you put your hair in a loose bun, and then you wear your satin bonnet and then you go to bed. This is really a very simple routine. It's really going to help you in the long run in combination with the right home remedies to grow your hair out. So this brings us to the 10th tip that we're going to be talking about, which is try the home remedies. So like me, I literally grew my edges from this point in this picture right here to this point this way with home remedies. So you guys, I really trust the home remedies power, and as I said, the home remedies work hand in hand with the right hair care practices. So the last tip is try the home remedies, which I'm going to be sharing on my channel alongside these 10 habits in order to regrow your edges thicker, fuller and back to health. So if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, share this video with sisters who are struggling to grow their hair out, subscribe for more videos, as well as click on the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I post a new video on this 5 months maximum hair growth challenge. Now thank you guys for watching this video to the end, and see you guys in the next video.